gypsy soul. I'm a rebel and rogue, and I'm always on the run. With a fire inside, I ain't ever gonna die. I'm a locked and loaded gun. When the match is striking the gasoline lights, it's only just begun. One thing I learned is you could watch it all burn, but the flame ain't ever done. Raise 'em up a little higher. You're riders, outlaws and outsiders. Some call me a renegade, the enemy. Throw your hands up if you feel the same. Oh, living life at the edge. Just say what you wanna say, or walk away. I'll stand tall when there's hell to pay. Ain't no power higher. We're the outlaws and outsiders.
That's right. Questions by the Campfire is back. It's me, the fence guy, bringing it right to you. We got all kinds of stuff that's happened this week, and I want to let everybody know exactly what's been going on here in our city. We're going to go ahead and start off with the council meeting that we had, and also the pre-meeting, the protest, the news came out, all kinds of stuff was going on, very heated discussions during our council, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump right into it. We have a couple other things I want to bring up. Before I do that, though, some other things that way I don't want to seem one-sided to where the only thing I'm talking about is the bad stuff. We had a couple good things happen, so I'm going to go ahead and give you that information right now. And again, sorry, this video is going to be a lot longer than most because we had a lot of stuff to cover.
The first resolution is to establish the beautification board and what their purposes are. This board has been meeting for some time. Jennifer has been the liaison on this, and this is to target certain areas of the city for improving landscaping, streets, alleys, and other municipal properties. So they have been meeting for some time. I think they probably had, what, at this point, about 4 or 5 meetings?
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. The resolution 23-05 appoints the members of the board. That's Elizabeth Grizzle, Bob Ham, Kat Bishop, Brian McGrew, and James McInnes, and that's for a 3-year term beginning on this date.
Okay. So, and then they've identified like areas that they want to concentrate on cleanup. So they've joined this Love Your Community grant program through the county. And so you log hours that you put in as far as like volunteering on cleanup. So they'll actually have days that they'll get together and ask for additional volunteers, and they'll conquer an area as far as litter pickup. So they were a big group. They did First Street sidewalk during the Day of Giving, Day of Giving. So they did that.
Anything just for the general improvement of the city.
Seems like they're all green thumbs too.
Huh?
Seems like they're green
Yeah, like
thumbs.
James McInnes is a master gardener, I think, and he's had some experience with that.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Grizzle kind of knows quite a bit
Yeah.
about it. I've helped them on some stuff, but I'm not the green thumb of the group. I just kind of go, I'll be here to pick up trash when I
And
need
Ms. Ham
to.
is too.
Yeah, so it's got some members that they kind of know some stuff about cleanup.
And the reason that we need to appoint it is they will be raising their own funds and getting sponsorships, so they will need a place to deposit the money and withdraw the money from until they get their 501c3.
I think this is a great idea. I'm glad to see that we got a beautification process going on here in Chickasaw. I'm glad to see that those people stood up and are taking leadership roles with that. And I think it's great that we've got people with green thumbs that can actually do this. So I want to thank those guys, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. And remember to reach out to the community, get some volunteers to help you if you need it.
Our first item tonight is the presentation of a previously approved item. This is a resolution honoring the work, volunteer work of Nancy Elliott. We were all very saddened in the passing of the Elliots at the end of last year. And we are very to have her daughter, Kara, son-in-law Denton and grandson Ian here tonight to receive this resolution that was unanimously passed by the council. This was sponsored by Jennifer White, who worked with Nancy on a number of boards for many years. And at this time, Jennifer and I will present the resolution.
This is resolution 23-02, a resolution warning. I didn't think I'd get through this, but okay. The death of Nancy Brooks Elliott, where it is the most heartfelt sympathy that Nancy Brooks Elliott, a longtime resident of Chickasaw, departed this life on Monday, December 19, 2022. Whereas Nancy Elliott and her husband James Jim Elliott were both residents of the city of Chickasaw, Miss Elliott gave exemplary service to the Chickasaw United Methodist Church, the Women's Club of Chickasaw, the Chickasaw Historic Preservation Commission and Society, and the Daughters of the American Revolution for 41 years. Whereas Nancy Elliott was a sweet and loving woman who was devoted to her family and to the city of Chickasaw, her tireless efforts promoting her hometown were a shining example to all those who had the distinct pleasure of knowing her. Whereas Miss Elliott was beloved by family, friends, and the citizens of Chickasaw alike, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the city of Chickasaw, Alabama, we celebrate Nancy Elliott's lifetime of service as we mark the dedication and contributions she made to our community. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to the family as a token of our gratitude for her accomplishments in life and a symbol of our deepest sympathy. Adopted and approved on this 10th day of January, 2023.
Thank you very much. She loved Chickasaw. She never wanted to live anywhere else.
We loved her and your dad very much, and they will be missed very much.
Unfortunately, I never had the honor of meeting Miss Elliott myself, but I have heard her name through the community, and I've heard nothing but good things about her. I heard that she was a very kind and sweet woman and did a lot for our community and for Chickasaw. And for that, I want to thank her and her family very much. We appreciate that. Unfortunately, we have to move on to other things. We're going to go ahead and kick this off with a little bit of, well, start off with the news and what they reported.
We have a right to talk to you, Mayor Rockett. No.
Tempers flared tonight at the Chickasaw City Council meeting. Residents were out protesting for two reasons. First, residents say there's a lack of transparency with the City Council. Residents are not allowed to talk during council meetings, something that is not sitting right with some folks, like that man who spoke out and was ejected for it.
Mayor and the council refuses to allow any of us to talk. We cannot get on the minutes of the meeting. We cannot talk during the meeting. We cannot request anything. If we request any information from them, they will not give it to us. So we've got to do something, and we're starting here.
The fact that Barry Broadhead doesn't like to face is any kind of controversy or complaints or anything. He doesn't want to hear any of that. He's made that abundantly clear. As you can see right here, one person's had enough. That's Todd Dunn. I'm going to go ahead and play that whole entire thing in part, including the part where they escorted him out. As soon as I get done with this, but as you can see, this is part of the job description for a councilman and a mayor. And over here is back in January of 2021. This is the ordinance that they decided to put out, stating that if we had anything, comments or anything, we can go ahead and submit them to the council on this form right here. This form is so unprofessional. It looks like a kid did it, not an adult. This issue was brought up by Ken Starrett during the council meeting this week, and this is what happened.
I've got miscellaneous business before we do that, if that's okay. I've had a lot of people ask me about why we don't allow people to speak at these city council meetings. And you know, when we got elected, we implemented a policy where we no longer allowed people to speak. We created these forms called inquiries for the city council, where citizens could go fill out this particular form if they had questions for the city council. It's been a really long time since I've received any of these forms, but I've been made aware by several people that they filled these out for whatever reason. And so clearly the policy we have in place is not working very well. And so what I'd like to do is go back to the previous policy that the city had before we were elected, which allows people to come in here, sign up, and speak for a few minutes to the city council and the mayor. So I'd like to make a motion that we vote to return to that previous policy of allowing people to speak before this council.
I think some small changes within that. I agree that I like the form that we had beforehand with it, but I think that this warrants some discussion on it as far as structure.
Well, it's difficult to represent people when we don't let them come and tell us what their issues are.
There should be.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
I made the motion. I'd like to know if there's anybody that would like to second my motion.
The proper way to do it in the past to suspend the rules first, to add a motion to. I guess, for the record, I think Councilman Sterrett is asking for a motion to suspend the rules to add an item to the agenda.
I'll say my motion to add to the agenda.
Okay, you got that, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
All right, we would need a roll call vote to suspend the rules.
Kim Hansen,
Yes.
Jennifer White,
Yes.
Mayor Broadhead,
Yes.
Tara Rolls,
Yes.
Ken Sterrett.
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Sterrett, I think I understood your motion would be to reinstate public comment, is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so we can get to the discussion aspect of the item. For the record, Michelle, please put it on the minutes that Councilman Sterrett is moving to reinstate public comment in Chickasaw's public meetings. Now we need to entertain a second.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
As far as how the previous policy was structured on that, I think it'd be worth reviewing that to make sure that you have fair allotment of time, make sure that the topic is covered and still on point. Lose some structure, in other words.
So policy.
Yes.
Would you feel comfortable with Nash looking at some options as far as policy? Absolutely.
I'm going to stand up if
Any
you don't.
further discussion?
Would y'all like for me to have something drafted for you at next meeting? As far as policy?
If that's feasible.
I can do that.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't either.
Why are we gonna wait for another week for this? Why don't we just go ahead and-
Every other city around here, 5 minutes. And it don't matter what we want to talk about. If we want to come here and talk about the stop signs, the red lights. We have a right to talk to you, Mayor Brockhead. No. I'm talking. I'm a resident. I pay my taxes. And everybody in this room is tired of not being able to talk. Vote on it now. We're done with this. We are done. Vote on it.
This is not a town hall meeting.
No. We want to put you on the meeting.
Order, or you will be escorted out.
And I'll hold this sign up. But I will not shut up.
This is not
I'm
a
not gonna
town
shut
hall
up.
meeting. This is a city council meeting. So you will be in order, or you will be escorted out.
Now, I want to be escorted out so the media can see that I'm asking y'all to let us talk here. And you were going against our constitutional and civil rights by not doing it. This needs to be on the news, all over the news. And I want to tell you something else. Starting from right there all the way over, every one of you need to be in the federal prison. Corruption, every one of you are corrupt. Oh, I don't care. I want to say what I want to say. I want the media to hear it. That's fine. I want them to see me getting put out by a police officer. Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk. Right here.
The second reason folks were protesting today is what started this entire transparency debate: pay for police and firefighters. Residents claim they are losing officers and firefighters because the city is denying them raises and promotions that they have earned. The mayor says they have had some officers retire or leave for higher paying jobs, but the city simply does not have the money. Just for today, the mayor announced a 5% merit raise for public safety workers to help out with the situation.
Mayor Barry Borhead says City Council made the unanimous decision to not have public comment back then and has remained ever since. The mayor says citizens still have a way to speak with their elected officials.
We would have submissions of questions in advance at the council meetings, and we would be available before the meetings and after the meetings to answer any specific questions.
Many citizens say it's time to end the rule.
Wait a minute, wait. What? Do citizens get a chance to speak before and after the meetings? The only person that ever steps outside and talks to the citizens is Ken Sturrett. Once every blue moon, you might see J.R. Riles out there, and Jim Hansen makes a beeline to his car as soon as he comes out from behind the booth. Everybody else heads to the back and leaves out the back door because they don't want to face the people. Matter of fact, I'll give an example of how they talk to you after the meeting. Check this out.
Where we left off is the motion to adjourn. Motion by Ken Sterrett, second by Jennifer White. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We stand adjourned.
Actually, I got opposed because we haven't even discussed the fire department and the police department. I mean, a 5% raise across the board is one thing, but these guys need money. They need back pay. All these things you guys aren't taking into consideration. What about the fire department? They need equipment. They need uniforms. How are we dealing with that? The what?
Is it money somewhere we don't know about?
We can always do a quarter mil tax. You guys can authorize that without a vote. No answer to that? Well, I can't hear you. They got 3 sets of uniforms they can use to go into a fiery building, and that's it. These are people that protect us. And we're just going to walk out the room, right? All cost money. Yeah, too bad we have money like ours.
That's amazing.
It's pandemic money. We don't have that COVID money that goes to the police department and all that. That's all gone. Those millions of dollars are gone. You know I can't hear you.
I mean, this is just amazing. Amazing.
For the fire department. So I spoke with the fire chief about that as well as Chief Miller about it. So we need to be looking as far as the uniforms and some of the other safety gear that they have, and see is there any room within that, especially for future grants. And I gave a listing of all of the federal grants we got. So I broke out all the.
And that's how they talk to the citizens after the meeting and after the cameras are gone. They didn't stop to discuss what was going on with the fire department or the police department. They just headed to the back when they left out the back door. Jennifer White said it costs money. You're absolutely right. I understand it costs money. And I was trying to discuss a solution with you as you guys walked by. We also have for equipment for the police and equipment for the fire department. We have the COVID money that we got. It was over $1 million to buy the things that they needed to operate the fire department and police department. Where did that money go? What's happened with that? It's got to be turned back over to the state or the government in May. And I haven't seen anywhere where it's been posted that you guys have used the money on anything. So, like I said, though, there was one person who was missing from the meeting, Adam Bourne, and I don't want him to go have this meeting without him having his say. He explains how we can solve this problem really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and let him explain it. Hold on a second.
I am in charge, and the city is going to do what we say, period.
Oops, sorry, my bad, wrong recording. Let's try this one. I was just thinking, and I mean, I'm sure some of the people actually own their property and live out here. Yeah. I don't think they'd have a problem with an increase if they would get us some of these things that we need, like, I don't know, extra police, extra firemen, stuff like that. If that's something we can adopt.
Yeah, we did a couple of years ago. We were at 4.5 mils, and under state law, you could go up to 5 without a vote. So we went up to 5.
nobody really noticed because there was such a tiny amount.
Right.
And now anything over 5, you have to have vote of the people for that.
So there you go. You need 0.5 mil that they can pass on their own. That's right, a half a mil. They can pass that on their own without the vote from the people. It's not that much money, so we wouldn't even notice it whenever we go to pay our property tax. So I don't see why they can't do that. I would like to go ahead and thank the council, the mayor and the council and our city clerk. They did go ahead and do some things that were good. They waited till the very last minute to give them that 0.5 pay raise. What they need is a wage adjustment, though. Okay, not a merit, but a wage adjustment, so that they can get their income or their pay up to the standard. Okay, right now, a fire department, if a fireman starts over there brand new, they get $10 an hour. Well, congratulations, you just got a 5% raise, which means now you make $10.50 an hour. Still, that's not enough to survive these days. The economy has gone up with the pandemic coming through. Gas prices were at one time $4 a gallon. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's not a wage adjustment at all, and that's what they need. And that's what you can get if you do the half a mil tax. Again, they did some other things. They also took care of SRA. I'd like to thank them for that. I'm sure that everybody would like to thank for them for finally getting caught up with that. I feel bad that we had to go all the way to having a protest to get all this stuff done, but it is what it is, and this is what they said about that.
We have in line for accounts payable $61,854.90. I also have something to share.
Let's approve the accounts payable first. Okay, is there a motion to put the accounts payable of $61,854.90 in line for payment?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Jennifer White, second by Ken Starrett. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And the next item is a correspondence that we've received from RSA, the Chief Financial Officer of RSA, regarding our contributions.
Do you want me to read the letter to them or just email back?
Read the email, it's more concise.
Okay, this is from Chad Counts, the senior accountant at the Retirement Systems of Alabama. And he wrote this to me and said, due to Chickasaw Utilities being up to date and their respectful request for this one-time write-off, since they pledged they will continue to be up to date with payments to RSA, I approve the write-off of the below listed penalty invoices. So they wrote off penalty invoices in the amount of $16,014.88 because the accounts, all RSA has been up to date since Miss Mary McLean brought them up to date.
Okay. I know there's a lot of misinformation about RSA being behind, but it's either caught up or it's not, and we would not receive such a letter if it were still behind. So.
Okay, again, I want to thank you guys for catching up the payments on the RSA. I'm sure all the employees are going to be very grateful of that, and I hope you guys keep your pledge and keep making the payments on time and not letting them go behind again so we don't end up with $16,000 worth of penalties. That would be great. I noticed that you did cut her off, though, while she was talking, and as far as I know, in your book, that's considered a little rude. Let me show you this, and you tell me which one was rude.
Okay, accounts payable, a little large, but we did not meet the last time due to weather, quorum, both.
Weather.
Yep. All right, so
Are the new floors listed in here somewhere?
new floors did not come out of city funds.
How do we pay for that?
The court paid for that.
So, that we get out of court funds?
Mm-hmm.
How much needed?
You know, it was two different vendors. There was the materials and that, but that had the court had that in their budget for some time.
Yeah, the previous court clerk had wanted to do it when she went out on maternity leave, I guess, with her child that was currently 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old, and I'm not sure for whatever reason it didn't happen. But since there was a little stagger there, we went ahead and did it then.
Because I knew they wanted to replace the carpeting in her office because it was nasty and needed to be replaced, but I'm not sure I understand why we replaced the floor in the courtroom. There was nothing wrong with the one we had.
I guess that was a decision that was made.
It's kind of hard to justify spending $22,000 when we've
that
got the
wasn't-
lowest paid police officers in Mobile County.
Well, that wasn't, you can't pay police officers with court funds.
That's true.
I can't pay police officers with court funds. We can raise taxes.
But it's the way it looks.
I understand, but you also have to know, being on the council, that you can spend money on certain things.
I'm well aware, thank
I
you.
mean, there's restricted city.
As I just said, I'm
4
well
and
aware,
6,
thank
5
you.
cent.
Go ahead and finish, Michelle, what you want to say.
There's 4 and 5 cent fuel tax. They can't be spending on police either. There's culvert money. It can only be spent on certain things. Only your general fund can be spent on payroll. Only the general fund.
Thank you.
Okay?
I already knew that. Thanks, though.
Well, if you knew that, then
I tried to tell you, I knew. You said to go ahead and say it anyway, so no big deal.
All right, that concludes our business items.
And on this, I don't even know what to say. Ken is a councilman. Ken has got an education in finances. Ken has got a master's degree. I don't think he needs her to explain it, like he said. But unfortunately, it looks like the mayor thought that she deserved to be heard, so it is what it is. Again, the carpeting in the office was all supposed to be replaced. That's all she asked for. They did the whole damn place and spent $22,000 doing it. It's almost as bad as the $12,000 worth of curtains that they put in the auditorium and sold. So let's get this. Let's see if we can tally this up. We've lost our auditorium. We've lost our stadium. We're about ready to lose our police officers, and we're about ready to lose the fire department right after that. We don't have enough equipment for the fire department. We don't have enough firemen in the fire department, and the police officers have been denied promotions that they've earned. They had their holiday pay cut and have not been reimbursed for that. You throw them crumbs when they should be getting bread. They need a wage adjustment. They do not need a merit pay or an incentive pay or a tip. They need a paycheck, a real paycheck like everybody else.
We are very transparent. Our meetings were open as soon as COVID restrictions would allow that.
Yeah, Barry, that's not exactly true. If you remember correctly, whenever you guys were doing your Zoom meetings and other cities had already opened up their meetings for in-person meetings, you guys still hadn't done that. We had to go to Jim Hansen and request that you guys go ahead and do that. And when you did that, you guys didn't seem very receptive to that idea. But again, don't take my word for it. I want you to go ahead and check this out.
I had one question. Due to the governor's reducing and relaxing restrictions due to the COVID situation and public gatherings, I want to move that we would go back to our normal in-person meetings in the second Tuesday of April, which will also be after the date that is anticipated that the governor will continue to release those restrictions. And I think that's the time we need to do that. I'd move that we would do that.
Okay. All right.
Do we need to make a motion for that, or?
That was my question. I thought we might have made the motion when we went to the online. I thought we did, but I'm not sure that we did or not. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, I don't know that a motion is needed, but yeah.
Yeah.
We could just announce it. Maybe we just announce it. Maybe that's
Yeah.
I think you just do it in your posting for the next
Yeah.
meeting, if that's y'all's decision.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus as soon as we are able and the COVID restrictions are not in place, we will just, that's what we will do.
Yeah. It's certainly an ever-changing situation, but it does seem to be improving significantly due to the vaccinations. So, but that makes sense to me.
Okay. Any other announcements?
You can see where Jim threw them a curveball on this one. Thankfully, Jennifer White was able to speak up. You can see Barry had no idea what to say. This isn't the first time you're going to see this. You're going to see this again in this video. what gets me is another thing is that they're saying they're transparent, but they're not, and they're so untransparent that even the councilmen don't know what's going on when they walk into these meetings. They go in not knowing what the agenda is. They have no idea what they're going to be talking about and what they're even going to be voting on, and they get a very limited time on being able to read what they've got. Check this out with Ken Stewart when he brought that up.
Our current judge, Derek Williams. And this is for a 3-year term?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions about that? All right.
Yeah, I haven't read any of it. Is there an agenda or anything tonight?
You have a packet for Ken?
I gave it, I slid it when you walked up. Sorry.
Okay.
This isn't the first time this has happened either. Ken Stearns brought this up before. The only one that seems to know what's going on is Barry and Adam and the lawyer. So this is the last time he brought this up.
That's it for our official business tonight. We have more on the agenda than I thought we would.
So, while we're sitting here, I just want to bring something up. I'd like to be able to read this stuff before we come into the meeting. Is there any way possible that we can get this emailed to us or get it before we actually have the meeting?
I don't even see it until, before the meeting, the agenda is still coming together.
It's kind of unusual though, don't you think?
Absolutely not. The previous mayor had a 30-minute pre-meeting, and we saw the materials when we sat down, and we only had 30 minutes to review everything. It's not unusual at all.
I don't think the thing to do is, what we've done in the past is if there's something unusual in the agenda and a council member wants to have time to review it, and if it's something that's not terribly urgent, you can just ask to take it up at the next meeting. We've done that before as a courtesy to council members pretty routinely.
But that's sort of why we have this pre-meeting, is to sort of...
It's kind of hard to read all this paperwork though when we're sitting here discussing everything. And I know these contracts weren't written up in the last 2 hours. Obviously they were done before.
Well, actually, a lot of this comes together this same day. So I would say that we are extremely transparent. All of our business meetings are open. We answer questions that are submitted to us. I take meetings by appointment.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call bullshit on that. You guys are about as transparent as a brick wall. Our city council minutes that are supposed to be posted on our website, we have one on the new website that was done in December of 2022. And in 2022, that is the only time you guys posted minutes for the whole year. Before that, we didn't even get minutes for 2021. You guys did it for like half a year, then you stopped. We don't get to meet with you. If we return anything into city clerk's office, you've told our previous city clerks not to accept our requests and to throw them in the trash. And I have a recording of them admitting that to me. I'm not going to put it out here because I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but I do have it. And like I said, you know me, I'm not going to say something unless I try not to do these things past a half hour. We've gone a little bit over that, so I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. Normally I don't do this. I always have like a ending that I make differently, but I've done this one and I put it out there before, and I think under the circumstances now would be a good time to go ahead and put it out one more time. And this one goes out to all of our fire department, all of our police officers. You guys doing an outstanding job. We appreciate you guys hanging in there for as long as you have. We appreciate everything you've done for us. And God bless Chickasaw, God bless my neighbors, and God bless the police department and fire department.
Good for you, you fooled everybody. Good for you, you fooled everyone. Good for you, now you're somebody. Good for you, you fooled everyone. Leave your weapon on the table, wrapped in burlap. Barely able, don't get angry, don't discourage. Take a shot of liquid courage, 'cause my monster's